What golden nugget of information do you have to share? If your older parents/grandparents are suddenly acting strange, get them checked for a UT. In older people, UTIs can cause a psychotic or delusional episode. What are the chances my parents have both had UTIs for 20 years? A 50/50. I saw this on r/Yao now the other day. Applying super glue, cyanocrylate, to cotton or wool results in a rapid chemical reaction that releases enough heat to cause minor burns. If enough cyanocrylate is added to the cotton or wool, the fabric will catch on fire, making this a great trick to keep in mind in survival situations. Horses have a massive blind spot on the front and back of their body. If you are ever around a tame horse, keep a hand on their body while walking around them. This lets it know where you are at all times and decreases chances of kicking out of shock or fear. This also prevents them from kicking you with as much force. You need to stay very close to them for the full benefit. This is similar with goats, as they instinctively fight things coming head on and should be approached from the sides. Also, ears are the gateway to a horse's feelings. Pinned back ears indicates an anxious or angered horse. Pinned straight up indicates curiosity and focus. Saw a 3-year-old at my barn ignore this rule and run up behind a horse screaming. The horse was pissed, but he didn't kick. If he had, well, that'd be some mess to clean up. Those goddamn 3-year-olds never read the rules. Even though you have a VPN, it doesn't necessarily keep you hidden. If skilled people wanted to find you, there are many things that can leak your IP that you have to isolate and fix, such as IPv6 leaks, DNS leaks, and WebRTC leaks. Also, every ad you add to your browser, it gives you a unique fingerprint that can lead back to you. You're not as secure as you think. Joke's on you. I used incognito mode. Hackerman intensifies. Artillery was responsible for over 70% of combat casualties in both world wars. CTRL plus SHIFT plus ESC opened straight to the task manager instead of CTRL plus ALT plus DELETE, and then manually selecting task manager. Shit, I work in tech support and I just learned something new. Thank you, kind stranger. Armadillos give birth to 4 identical twins always. Yes, just to clarify a little, they bear either 4 or 8 pups. They either have 1 set of identical quads or 2 sets of identical quads. Iron can make your poop color turn black. If your poop is black, that could mean an internal bleed and you should get it checked out by a doctor. If you poop and there's a lot of bright red blood, it's likely a bleed from Uranus like hemorrhoids, but you should still probably get that checked out. Edit. Basically anything unusual and persistent should get run by a doctor. Eating 3 packs of salted seaweed sheets also turns your poo black. I had an anal fissure in high school and didn't know it. I left ballet class to use the restroom, and when I went to flush I saw so much blood and started crying and called my mom. She said to put on a pad and keep going for the rest of the day. A few months later I started throwing up daily. I now know this is due to chronic fatigue syndrome, and eventually the abrasions in my throat caused me to throw up blood. My mom asked if it looked like coffee grounds, which would indicate internal bleeding, because it looked like normal blood and not coffee grounds. She told me to stay at school and deal with it. I was finally diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome this year, 2020, which explains all of the symptoms I experienced. This may be a dumb comment that people won't care about, but I was frequently ignored by my parents and doctors for being a hormonal teenage female. But this was a real ailment I'm suffering from, and I want to get this experience out there. Newly registered nurse working on a hematology ward and learned that stem cells smell like sweet corn. PM_me_your_stem cells. Foreign garment to be labeled made in USA, the process only needs to be started and finished in America. In the case of a certain ladies underwear line, the material is cut in USA, shipped overseas for assembly, then shipped back to America, where a seamstress sews a made in USA tag on the item. Source/underwear factory worker. It's crazy how it's cheaper to send clothing across the world to be assembled than it is to just do it domestically. Planet Money on NPR did a fascinating episode on the makings of a chert and its travels around the world from start to finish. A moose can run 40 miles per hour through 6-foot deep snow. Terrifying. Airline ops guy here. If you check in a bag at an airport with an hour or less before departure, it has a 50/50 shot of making it on the plane. Just like that airline. Bag security can back up too. I regularly see 30+ minute in screening statuses on bags. Then, it may be pulled for a hand screening and search. This is random and ZA doesn't care when the flight leaves. So now we are at about 25 minutes to departure and your bag has only just now entered the sort system. It will take another 5 to 10 minutes to sort out to the person who loads carts with bags. Here, the problem is that there may be 7 to 10 other flights coming off of the same conveyor belt. They have to see your bag's tag out of maybe 50 other bags. So let's assume another 5 minutes. Your flight's bag cart was delivered plane side at an hour before departure. It is now 15 minutes to departure. The bag room has seen your bag and has it on the back of a tug racing to the plane. 7 minutes before departure the baggage compartments are closed and total weights are being submitted. Your bag has missed the airplane. TL. Doctor, please check in more than an hour before your flight if checking a bag or else it might not make it on the plane. So I should check in late. So my bag might be delayed and I can claim on my insurance $200 for new clothes? Actually, yes. I checked in late for a flight last year and my bag didn't make the plane. I had to buy new clothes and was reimbursed by the airline. Got a cute new swimsuit. I don't recommend this though. It took days for my bag to find its way to me and made the start of a vacation quite stressful. The first president of Zimbabwe was President Banana. It was also illegal to joke about his name in Zimbabwe, so the foreign press used to joke about his name more. If you were caught though, you were locked up with no chance for appeal. The earth wobbles really slowly like a spinning top. It takes about 26,000 years to come full circle. In the process, the northern star changes. This is called precession. It's one of 3 major changes in Earth's movements which are a part of the Milankovitch cycle. Precession occurs 26,000 years, eccentricity occurs 125,000 years, obliquity occurs 41,000 years. These cycles all have effects on Earth's climate. For more information just search Milankovitch cycles. This person Earth Sciences carrot. A scorpion can hold its breath for 6 days. So don't think drowning it will help you out of your scorpion problem. So I flooded my house for no reason. Duck. Just keep flooding it continuously for a week. There are bronze statues of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Splinter at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, donated by their comics co-creator and university alum Peter Laird. Recent grad from UMass. Really wish someone had mentioned this before. The concept of 3 square meals a day is a diet designed for people working physical labor in the early 1900s. Quality of diet and sticking to daily calorie limits is the only part that really matters. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter what time you eat. Although the 3 square meals model is indeed advantageous for day-long maintenance of energy levels. Basically, it's better to just eat when you're hungry than force yourself to eat when you should, so long as you're getting the proper nutrients, etc. The term square meal comes from the British Navy, where plates were square with raised edges to stop food spilling in rough seas. Never miss a chance to piss. There are 3 ways to refer to a gathering of geese. 1. If they're on the ground it's a gaggle. 2. If they're flying, but not in a V-shaped formation it's a skein. 3. If they're flying and in a V-shaped formation, it's a wedge. I just stick to sky raccoons. I had a heart transplant 5 years ago. When your heart is replaced, the surgeon has to cut the main nerve that gets the signal from the brain to beat and or increase the intensity of the beat. Without this vagus nerve, your new heart has no regulation and pumps blood out of habit. You no longer have a fight or flight response and your new heart beats at 90+ beats a minute. That is terrifying. So if you get nervous your heart doesn't race, right? I have no internal regulation over my heart rate. My new heart beats purely from muscle memory. I can't think about it for too long because it's just too freaky. A single spaghetti noodle is called a spaghetto. I thought a spaghetto was a place where poor Italians lived. On a cold and grey Chicago morn, another baby Italian is born in Spaghetto. When Elton John changed his name from Reginald Dwight, he also gave himself a middle name. His full name is Elton Hercules John. That was a very good name change. Reginald Dwight. Who names their kid that? That a strong sense of doom is a medically recognized and majority common precursor to having a heart attack. Here I'm waiting for my heart attack for the 8th year. I'm on about 38. X% of Y is the same as Y% of X. So if you're struggling to find 26% of 50, maybe 50% of 26, 13 is much easier to do quickly. I have some words for my 6th grade math teacher. Most people replace their computer or run them into the ground when they get hot and slow. When in reality new thermal compound and a solid state drive upgrade can fix both problems and increase its lifespan for about $35 to $50 and isn't incredibly hard to DIY in most cases. What else do you know about computers? Heat is the #1 enemy of computers. Taking a can of air and cleaning it out once in a while and redoing the thermal compound on an older computer can make it run nice and cool and faster in some cases if the computer was thermal throttling because it was too hot. Upgrading to an SSD can make an older computer faster, more responsive and seem faster, even if it has less processing power than a new computer with a standard hard drive. What would you like to know? The grey rock treatment is an incredibly useful method of dealing with narcissists and toxic people. If such a person is going at you verbally or behaviorally, screaming or posturing or trying to fight, become like a grey rock in a river. No reaction. Don't answer. No movement. Just sit calmly and let the stream of crazy flow past you. Bonus points if you can stare blankly. When people thrive on causing a reaction, they absolutely cannot compute when they get no reaction. If you're in physical danger, obviously react to keep yourself safe, but don't argue, explain or defend verbally. You'll never change a narcissist's mind. It's just walking on a treadmill. I once did this with a narcissist ex. Just sat blankly. After they calmed down they sat facing a different direction. My nose was runny due to allergies, so I got the sniffles. Sniffle. Sniffle again. My ex turned around with a strange smile on their face. They thought I was crying. When they realized I was perfectly composed they became bewildered. The most awful smile on their face for that one moment. Your ex smiled because they thought they actually hurt you and made you cry. WTF, I don't know how such horrible people exist. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.